Hello, hello! I hope you are having a wonderful week and you guys are ready to close out this year with a bang. Now, before we get started for today's podcast, I wanted to share something one of my mentors told me a few days ago. There are only less than 30 days left to close out the year. The holidays are here and so many people are busy getting ready for the holidays, kids are out of school. But I am here to tell you this. If you are watching this video, it means you are here to change and to do something different. So do just that. I know I am. Finish off the year strong. There are a lot more deals available on the market. There are a lot more people who want to close out the year by selling their properties. And so there's a lot less competition. So if you have an offer you want to make, go ahead and make that real estate offer. Go ahead on calling that client. Follow up. There is no need to wait until next year to start your New Year's resolution. Get started today. And with that, let's get started with our podcasts. Quick notes for those of you guys who are listening to this podcast while driving. I highly encourage you to watch this specific one on YouTube. You can find us at Chai and Cabins. And the reason I say that is I'm going to be showing you lots of videos and design elements. And while I try to do my very best to explain in detail, it's so much pretty if you guys see it with your own eyes. I'm also not an interior decorator before I get started with this episode. I highly recommend that you guys watch this on YouTube so you can kind of see what I'm describing and how things are designed and the colors, because it's so much prettier than what I'll ever be able to put into words. So, a few weeks ago, I was in Orlando and it was amazing. I was there for VRMA, which is the Vacation Rentals Managers Association, and I got the chance to stay at this incredible Airbnb that I wanted to highlight. By the way, Orlando, absolutely in love. The palm trees, Disney, all of it was stunning, especially the weather. Even though I live in Texas and it's pretty sunny, Orlando just like top hat, which was awesome. But my very, very favorite part of Orlando was the beautiful Airbnb that we stayed in. Orlando hosts, they know how to go all out to decorate their home, because it's such a competitive market. Now, for those of you who want to buy in Orlando or Kissimmee to be specific, because STRs are banned in most parts of Orlando, and we do not ever want to be operating an illegal business. So, for those of you who want to buy in that area, make sure you have an agent that understands short-term rentals, and be even better if they had their own short-term rentals, so you can get all the information like revenue, returns, what's really their true net number, how much is the mortgage, who is their lender, how does insurance look like, and then get ready to spend some serious cash, you guys. And I mean serious cash because this is probably the most competitive short-term rental market in the country. And where there's competition, there are some incredibly successful operators the rest of the country could learn from, like this Airbnb that I'm going to be showcasing in a little bit. Personally, I like to get a bunch of great ideas from here that I like to implement into my own homes, and I'm going to be using as many of those design elements in my next project. So let's go. But before we get started, I do want to add one more thing. One of the best things I got to see on this trip was a little trick my friend taught me, which you can go onto Zillow and then just find open houses in your areas, and then you can go walk these open houses. We did this while we were in Orlando in an afternoon, and it's a really cool way to kind of get to know the city, know what's going on in the area, how people decorate their homes, and of course a lot of properties kind of in the Kissimmee, Davenport area are short-term rentals. So we did tour a bunch of those, and we got some numbers from the real estate agents, and it was a really good opportunity to network. So if you guys happen to be in the market that you want to invest in, that's a really cool little trick that you can do. And then for anyone of you who is confused as to where you go on Zillow, just drop me a comment below or send me a DM on Instagram. I'll be happy to show you guys a little video about how you can filter open houses properties. And it's a really fun way to spend the weekend. You can take your kids, you can take your husband, and everybody involved in the spirit of real estate. Alright, that was a little uninterrupted, but back to our main thing. Starting off at the main door, the electronic locks, as always, Yale's, Slage, whichever you prefer. And make sure you guys don't have to meet anyone of your guests for keys, and you can always create all of the access to door codes. But the minute you walk into this house, it's just like this wow factor. And I was just blown away by how nice and how presented everything looked. It looked just like the photos that I had seen when I booked online. And creating this wow factors for your guest will give you the 5 stars that you always want, and you get them to book with you again and again and again. So the minute you walk into the stunning home, there is a mirror on the left, and I think this is the perfect placement for it. It serves 2 purposes. One, when I'm getting into the house and my family's all around me, it's nice to get a quick look and make sure my hair isn't sticking out 50 different places, my lipstick didn't get all smeared while I was driving, or all these crazy things. And then next, when I'm leaving, so when I'm heading out of the house, especially women, we like to check our outfit, make sure the hair is on point, make sure my outfit flows really well. And it's like that one last little check before you run out of the house. And since the mirror is right there before the front door, perfect spot. And so, I know this is a little bit off topic, but have you guys ever been into those elevators and there are mirrors in there? And do you guys know why they're there? It's so that people are so busy looking at their reflection, you essentially lose track of time, and the ride seems a lot shorter than it actually is. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but it's a cool little fact, and I think we could use a few more mirrors into all of our properties, including me. And trust me, women, you know when I say this, because it's me, it makes all the difference in the world just to make sure my outfit is completely on point for that day. Now, moving right off into the hallway, there is a garage. Now, typically, I never open the garage. I figure most owners lock up their personal belongings, or it's just locked, so I don't, look into it. But I'm super glad I did on this one, y'all, because they went all out in this garage. So they converted this garage into a gaming/relaxation oasis. And before everyone goes to convert the garage, please make sure you guys check your local ordinances. Some areas of the countries will not allow you to convert a garage into a fun space. Now, usually the caveat is you can do whatever you want. You just can't have sleeping spaces in the areas. You can't just convert it into like a mother-in-law unit or put a bathroom and a bed. Those things you can pretty much convert the entire space. And again, that is like kind of like the general rule, so I definitely recommend you guys brush up on that before you go to convert. And just so you guys know, I am pausing the video and highlighting parts that I think are super crucial. I have a little circle with little arrows so you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So first up, here are all of the light switches, and look how pretty this is. Every single one of them is labeled. This makes it easy for your guests, and I am a huge fan of labeling everything. Now, I know some guests look tacky, and I can see that, but you know what? Convenience beats tackiness every single time. I definitely do not want to spend 2 minutes switching on all the lights and then switching them back off just to find out which one light I wanted to switch on. That's annoying. Make this super easy for your guests. After all, we are in the vacation business. So a fun story on this, I have a property, and of course, I label all my properties as much as I can, and in all of these years I've only had one guest who in their private feedback to me told me there are way too many labels around the house. And while I completely agree with that, the other 99% of guests have never commented on it. And in fact, I've gotten several positive reviews that say because there were so many labels, it made our vacation so much easier and our life so much easier. So I definitely highly recommend them. So before I start going into the interior design of this aspect, will start off by saying I am not an interior designer, and I never plan on being one. I do not know how to color coordinate. It gives me anxiety. I do not do it. I always hire a designer for all of my projects, and I'm happy to share the designer's name who did this house because they did an absolutely incredible job. And if you guys are looking for an interior designer, comment below or send me a DM. I'll also be happy to share a few other recommendations for you guys, including people I have worked with before. Moving back into the house, putting in fake plants will do wonders for your space. We tried going with live plants on one of our first properties when we first launched, and guests would pour soda, they would take mud out, and they would just do everything under the sun. So we took all of those houses back to my mom's place and replaced them with fake ones. Much easier to clean, just like this one over here, but it also gives that really nice pop of the green element. And then they also had these little chairs for the kiddos and a sofa, and then some bigger chairs for adults. You know what that immediately tells me? it tells me they know exactly who their guest avatar is, which is a bunch of adults, and they're bringing their kids here. They're enjoying Disney, but they curated the spaces so that kids could have fun too. Now, can you guys see how much of a good paint job they can transform this property and make it pop? Look how beautiful this looks. And the next step are these games, and I always like to have a lot of board games at my property so kids and adults can enjoy, but these guys took it a notch above, and they did this really cool presentation where they have like a wall hanging magnetic Scrabble board. How cool is that? Two things: A, the pieces don't go missing because it's magnetic, and it's so fun. I've never seen that before, and it makes for wall art as well. Now, on this wall, they went with a mural artist who drew this stunning sunset over the orange skies. Again, this really helps pop up the space so much. There's a bunch of arcade games that everyone can play here, and I can definitely imagine parents getting their kids ready for dinner, and while the parents are getting ready upstairs, the kids are playing around in here, they're laughing, they're having a really good time. You want to think about how the guest is going to enjoy the space. Envision yourself as the guest. Now, arcade games are really fun ways for kids to enjoy themselves. There's a little foosball table, which is perfect for adults and kids, along with a nice TV. So you can put on the football game in the background while they're also playing foosball on this little table over here. And then there's also a mini fridge here for people who can, they want to store a few drinks, put a little sodas. And then if you look up here, they even decorated the ceiling really nice so that you get that tiki oasis vibe wherever you go in the whole place. Small details like having a leaf on the ceiling fan, it's just wow. And then there's so many little things that make all the difference. Now let's talk about these epoxy floors. How cool are these blue floors with the mat? Now, I obviously, like I said, I'm not an interior designer. I don't know if these are epoxy or what. They just look so beautiful, and they came out so stunning and really help tie the entire room together. Now, putting up little wall decors like the surfer board, painting the walls, wallpaper, so many things you can do to add texture that make the room really pop. And again, as a guest, when I walk in, I'm just like, wow, like this looks so cool. So walking back into the main kitchen, can you guys see how well everything is labeled? I know I'm saying this over and over again, but it's just such a crucial part about hosting. And this house has close to 9 bedrooms. Yep, 9. So safe to say a lot of people do stay here. And imagine everyone opening up every single one of those cabinets every single time to find one fork. It's crazy. So when you do things like you label, you make it super easy for everybody. And regardless if you have a large property or a small one, no one wants to spend their entire time trying to find one fork. So label it to make it really easy for your guests. And the other thing this does, it makes it really easy for your cleaners. Because if you hire a cleaning company, and so like say there's the owner and the managers and the cleaning crew, there's 3 different levels of people. This gets them to go, oh, I don't know where the fork goes. Oh, cool, it says fork here. Every single time, I'm going to put the fork right over there. The other thing I love about this kitchen is how well stocked it is. Blender, got it. Plates, forks, knives, got it. The other thing I love about this property is that it sleeps all these people, and so say it sleeps 16 people, they don't just have 16 plates. You need to double, triple the amounts of plates, forks, knives, because let's be honest, if I eat, I'm not going to wash the plate right away to use another time. I'm going to wash it, put it in the dishwasher, and then wait for the dishwasher to get full, and then wash it. This is, again, why it's so important to know who is your guest avatar when you put a property under contract or you're thinking about buying. Because all of this stuff does require a lot of cash to be put in upfront on the property. Now, blue is one of my favorite colors. So seeing these drapes, chairs, and guys, let me tell you, these chairs on the dining table were super comfortable. This entire ensemble is brought together so beautifully. And then once we got in, there was this little welcome basket with a few goodies and a sweet little message. Again, just little things that make it really special to be here. Now, I absolutely love the wallpaper they have on this wall. It's light, but it has these beautiful patterns on it, and it helps in bringing in so much more light to the space. And then all these plants just give you a breath of like really nice fresh air. So over here we have a coffee bar. I'm obviously a huge fan of having a little espresso maker, some syrups, sugar, coffee beans, especially while in the morning you're waiting for everybody to get up, get ready. You can enjoy a little bit of all of this. Walking onto this pool, this is my very, very favorite part about this property, you guys. They have an Instagrammable wall that looks gorgeous and encourages guests to take photos outside, tag your property, get on social media. You guys get the gist of it. And there's also some really nice outdoor patio seating. And then there's a little game section over here with all the pools and outdoor games. And then they went all out, you guys. I'm talking about all out. And they also have this tiki bar where you can enjoy a drink by the pool. And there's a couple of floaties and tons of stunning decor. And you get the Oasis vibe kind of throughout the entire property, which just tells you how well thought out this is. And then on the other side, I had so much fun here. They built this little fun mini golf turf. Now, this does two things. One, it's an extra amenity for the guests, so when they book your property or for someone else, they know they can, have the kids out or the adults playing mini golf. And I can definitely imagine a lot of guys being out here playing this, by the way. And the second thing it does is it reduces your lawn care bill, which means you don't have to spend as much money with the lawn care guy. So yeah, it's a little bit more money upfront, but over the life of the property, this is way more economical. Now, the pool was heated, which is another amenity you can upsell for your guests, and you can charge extra per day, or in fact, I highly encourage that you do charge extra per day because the gas or propane bill can run pretty high. And the hot tub was wonderful. And this will also keep you booked into the winter season. Now, I obviously know Florida doesn't really have a winter season, but you guys get the gist. And we were here in October and we still had to turn the heater on because the water can get a little bit chilly. And of course, I love this hot tub that flows into the pool. And because this house is a double story, so it's on 2 levels, and from where it's actually located at, it was actually perfectly shaded in the afternoon. Again, just those little details that make it so much more special for your guests. Now, I think I forgot to mention 2 things while coming out onto the patio. One, there was a fire alarm so that anytime the patio doors were open, the fire alarm would go off. Obviously, it's a kid safety thing. But then there was a second fabric barrier between kind of the Instagrammable wall and the pool. Again, just a manual level of kid safety. You can never have too much kid safety, especially when a pool is involved, as far as I'm concerned. And the third thing I really liked is there was a really simple metal sliding door lock that manually locks in to make sure the sliding doors are really locked. So I know that can get tricky sometimes, like you're trying to slide in, maybe get stuck, or like I don't know if it really locked or not with this, for sure. And I'll be honest, guys, if I had this kind of pool, you could never get me to leave the house. It was so beautiful and I still daydream about it. It was that nice. Now back to the main house. There are 2 primary bedrooms downstairs. This is really great for grandparents and they're decorated really well. There's this elegance and that pop really well. And they're both king beds, which I always prefer. If you actually ask people if they prefer a queen or a king, they'll always tell you a king. So I try not to keep any queen beds if I can avoid it. Now one of them had an attached bathroom and the other one was in the living room. Both full bathrooms, goes without saying. Now, I do want to highlight one particular amenity this bathroom provided. If you look underneath over here, they had little knickknacks like pads, tampons, sunscreen, hair dryer, close-up mirrors. Again, those extra little touches that make it so special. Moving upstairs, to theme the house, they painted the railings to the staircase. I would have literally never thought about doing this, but absolutely love the idea. It gives it such a unique touch. Look at this really pretty blue. As we land upstairs, look at this movie theater, you guys. I mean, this is better than most movie theaters I walked into. They have these huge bean bags. They were super comfy. And then there's a popcorn maker, a big TV, and tons of seating. And personally, I love the fact that they did not go with those theater-style seats because I love to lay down while I'm watching a movie. When we walk into the main first room that you kind of see on the left over here is the Aladdin room. And look at this decor, you guys. Everything from floor to ceiling to closet is fully themed out. They even got Aladdin shower curtains. Most of the bedrooms upstairs had connecting bathrooms. This is a huge upsell. Moving into the next room, one that cannot be named but starts with A and it ends with R. And look at the glow up paint in this room. They got trinklets hanging out from the ceiling and even some designs on the floor. Of course, they're designed to be kids' bedrooms, so the beds are designed kind of to their size. And again, this is just about being really smart and knowing your guest avatar. In the case with this family, if you have family, extended kids, then grandparents, kids would love to have a room just for themselves where they can kick back and enjoy. And I also love the hammocks here. Such a cool way for kids to hang out. Moving into the next room, this is one of my favorite decals. They got this printed beach wallpaper that they put up, custom printed, and stuck on here, and then they put this decal on top of it. A really easy way you can instantly upgrade the property. And then this rug, look at that blue. It looks just like the beach. It's beautiful. Moving on to the next room, I love the colors and the Jack and Jill bathroom that interconnects with the room that we just saw. And one of the details I want to highlight in this room is the closet. They have decals of all the villains in each of the themed out rooms. Again, such a small idea, but so cool. And this last room is my personal favorite. It's really beautifully decorated. The beds are super comfy, but there's also an office space, which I absolutely love, and this huge bathroom. This is where I stayed, and I really liked it. I hope you guys enjoyed this special episode, and this has given you some design inspiration for your next property. And if you guys enjoyed listening to more real estate, design, and short-term rentals, be sure to subscribe to the video below and check out some of the other episodes we have going into all of this. And if you guys have goals that you have set for next year, make sure to hit them down below. Thanks, you guys.